lens of religion. But the question now, on the lips of many Nigerians, who is right and who is wrong? What is fact and what is fiction? What happens next and what is the aftermath? Tonight, Babajide Ogunsowo, who is the founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's chief data analyst, is here to share more facts and vital insight on the war on terrorism and the religious concerns surrounding it. Thank you very much, Babajide, for joining us on the News at 10.
Yeah, good evening.
And is there any evidence there is a religious war ongoing in Nigeria, and do we have actual facts?
So we'll speak to the facts tonight. We'll speak to a lot of hard facts tonight, but I'd like to start from a slightly different perspective, and that's because exactly around this time, 4 decades ago, the world was in a state of shock. Exactly on this day in Moscow at the Tchaikovsky Center, the world saw a new world champion, the youngest champion ever in the world emerged, Garry Kasparov. And as I said, according to the commentators then, the world was put in a state of shock at 22-year-old Garry Kasparov. But today we're not talking about that state of shock or exactly where Garry Kasparov is today. Tonight there are 3 states I want to talk about, which is very important to what you've talked about. The first is the state of religion in Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of the world. The second is the state of the statistics on violent extremism in Nigeria and around the world. And the third is perhaps the most important, the state of the solution. So let's start by looking at the state of religion in Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of the world, because it allows us to understand exactly what is going on. What is in front of us is based on the Pew Research when they asked Christians how much is religion important in their lives. We can clearly see 82% of Christians in Nigeria say religion is important in their lives. Look at in the UK, only 11%. In the US, 68%. France, 12%. Spain, 30%. The summary here is that in Nigeria and in a lot of other parts in Africa, Christians say religion plays an important role in their lives. Why is this important? We can clearly see a lot of the European countries where Christians say yes, religion plays an important role, but not as important as it is in other parts of the country. Look at in the US, when Christians were asked by the Pew Research Center, 68% of Christians living in the US said religion plays an important role in their lives. However, what we clearly see from the evidence in front of us is that Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia stands out by Christians saying religion is very important in their lives. Now keep that in mind, because the second thing coming up is also quite important. And the second thing is, when Christians were also asked that countries with the most Christians in